Hey y'all, welcome to the filling station. I am super excited, y'all. So in this video today, we're just looking at the market, seeing what we can find out. And let me first give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, because we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we're just looking at the market just to see where we can pick out, where our trouble places are as of right now. We're looking at the SPY. It seems as if the SPY closed at 612.93. What's interesting is we made a high yesterday of 613.23. Now, again, I like to look at the 30-minute chart, but for this, I'm going to go to the 1 hour just to point something out, right? So the SPY has been coming, it went up. Let's start here. That 611.15 was an area that we needed to watch as a resistance area, 608.45 as a support area. That was a zone, a range that we have been trading in. It seems like we went up, came down, went up, came down, went up, broke through. So that 612.18 area is an area that I needed to watch for the SPY, because this time we broke through that only to make a new high and to come back down. But we're at that 611.15. So that is the place I definitely need to watch the SPY if I'm trading that today, because breaking that can bring us back to the 608 or 609.54 area. So I would definitely say if you're trading SPY today, and I did say 608, it is 609.54, 609.50, yeah, 609.54. So I would definitely watch that. I wanted to point that out. So where are the trouble places as of now for the SPY? Again, that's to the upside. We would need to break back above 611.57. If we break that level, we could have 611.83 as a trouble place. Breaking that 612.18 could very well be a trouble place. And if we break that, 612.74 is a resistance area for us. If we break that 612.74, 613.15 is within reach. And again, that is the high that we made. Yesterday's high was 613.23. So we need to be careful in that area. Now back to the downside, if we should break this 611.15, I need to remember that, right? Under 611.15, 611.01, not far away, but we can very well come down here to this level around the 610.66 area. If we should break that, we can come back to this ATR trail and stop around 610.45. And if we break that area, you see how I have this 610.01 is the 200 EMA, but I have this area of 609.96, not far away. So I would watch that area. If we lose the 610.45 support, I would watch the 610.01 or the 609.96 area for the SPY. So if you're trading the SPY today, those are areas to the upside and to the downside. Y'all, I say so often that in the market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. We are now looking at Tesla, and Tesla does what it does. Look at that candle. The low of this candle on yesterday was 353.67. The high of the candle was 365.50. Tesla went from 353 to 363 and then made another high here of 367.34. Tesla does what it does. So if you can get in Tesla at the right time, out at the right time, that could be a very profitable trade. So where are our trouble places as of now? I have this level 361.87 as a support area. As you can see, that's where we are. Resistance as of right now, let's say it's a 362.76. So we're kind of like trading in this zone. But if you look, we've been in this zone before. So that's something to be mindful of with Tesla. If we break the 672.79, the next level 363.33 could be a trouble place. 363.81. So breaking this level here of 362.79, we could have trouble. 363.33, 363.81, and if we should break that 365, could be a resistance area. And if we break that 365, we can come back to the 366.84. Now to the downside, breaking under this 361.87 area for Tesla, 361.27 could be a support place, which is our 20 EMA as of now. Now, if we should lose that area, 360.64 could be a support place. And right here under that will be 360.01. And that's the 50 EMA as of right now, which is a right exactly at a place that I had marked as a support area. It's so important to mark those support and resistance areas. It is important to mark the gathering spots because we wouldn't have known that this 50 EMA would be at this place. So I wanted to point that out. So under the 360.01, we could very well come back to 359.63, not far away, breaking that 359.08, breaking the 359.08. The ATR trailing stop is right here at 358.39, not far from an area of 358.46 that I had marked. So we need to watch that area, breaking that for Tesla, 357.92, under that 357.12. And if we should break the 357.12, look where that 200 EMA is. It's right there at a previous, a line that we have marked at 356.46. So we definitely need to mark that watch that 356.41, 356.46 area for Tesla because, I say so often, y'all, Tesla does what it does. It can move in either direction, up or down. Let's see how much the ATR for Tesla, well, it's just the average true range. And I go to the daily chart, disregard all of those lines. As of right now, Tesla is moving on average $18.40 per day. That can be in either direction, up or down. So if you're trading Tesla today, those are areas that I would definitely watch as support or resistance. Again, not financial advice, y'all. So let's go to AMD just to see where we are today. It looks as if AMD closed at 114.69. We were trading in a gathering spot. There we are. Price is just trading in this zone. We bounced off of this 114.28 only to break through a level of resistance of 141.61. Broke through another level of resistance, 114.83, only to come back to this area here of 115.20. Looks like we got rejected here, but is this a way to, push us higher? That first rejection, somewhat normal, right? And then, we come back and retest it. There we are again at that 115.20 for AMD. Breaking this level, we could very well have trouble at 115.42. If we should break the 115.42, I would watch the 115.51. Now breaking that 115.51, we can come back to the 116.11, which is here. So y'all, I say anything is possible, nothing is guaranteed. Now let's say we break under the moving averages, all of these lines here, we break under that. Let's say if we break under the 114.48, we can come back to this zone here and find support at 114.28. And if we should break that level, we can come back to 114.03, which is these lines here, 114.03. If we should break that, we can come back to 113.83 and breaking that level, 113.68. If we break that 113.68, which is our 200 EMA, again, on this 30-minute chart, we could very well come back and retest this 113.14, which is not far from the 113.01 that I have marked as support. Again, I look at support and resistance on a much smaller scale because when I'm in the trade, I would like to know where my trouble places are, and that's something to be mindful of. Where are my possible trouble places? And as you can see, AMD just broke through that 115.20, so we need to watch that today. So if you're trading AMD, those are places to the upside and to the downside. I say so often, y'all, anything is possible, nothing is guaranteed. We are now looking at Nvda. Nvda closed at 139.23. It looks as if we're trying to break through this level of 140.42 or 140.38. We need to watch that because that was an area that I had marked as a support or resistance area. Now breaking this, we could possibly have trouble at 140.68. If we should break that, 140.92 could very well be a resistance area or a trouble place for us. Now if we should break that level, 141.22, and then breaking that, 141.42, and if we should break that level for Nvda today, 141.64 could very well be an interesting place of resistance, right? So if we break that level, just know 141.88 and again at 142.08. Those could be places, we could possibly have trouble for Nvda today. Now back to the downside, under 140.08, that 5 EMA as of now is at that 139.96. We need to watch that. If we come under that, we could very well find support here at 139.72, again at 139.58, not far away. There's some moving averages here that we can use as a support area. So under that 139.37, we can come back to 139.12 as a support area. What's interesting is this zone here that it had been trading in. So if we break under 139.12, it could very well come back to 138.78, and that's just where we had been for a while there. So 138.78, let me make sure I have that right. 138.78, if we should break that, the ATR trailing stop is forming now at that 138.64. There's a few layers of support right here for Nvidia at that 138.64, 138.55, all the way down to the 134.46. So we definitely need to watch it at that 138, 63 area down to the 138.46. There's a few layers of support. Now breaking that, we could very well, find support down here at 138.03. And if we should break that, 137.75, which is the 200 EMA as of now on the 30-minute chart. Breaking that level, we can find support at 137.46 for Nvidia. And I say so often, y'all, these are just, areas that we could possibly have trouble. Nothing is guaranteed. It's always important to know where you could possibly have trouble. One other one that I wanted to point out today is Pltr. The blue lines are new lines that I went to, just start charting, figuring out where the trouble places are. And as you can see, there's a lot of little blue lines that I've got to go back and correct with that. But look at this interesting candle here for a Pltr, which is not surprising because there is a downside gap on the daily chart. Let me say that. Now, if looking at this, the high of this candle is 122.91. The low of this candle is 111.26. So the market, Palantir sold off all the way down to this area. What's interesting is how I need to go back and remember a few layers, right? I need to remember this area, around this area here of 111.13, because price gathered here for just a minute, and I need to remember that. Now, the next area that I need to remember for Palantir would be around the 109.93 area. Why? Because price was here a few times, and look where we got rejected at. So I need to remember that. And this is just charting tips. Under that 108.72, I need to remember that range for Palantir, and under that level 107.47. So these are just areas that if I was trading Palantir, these are areas that I would watch as support and resistance. And what's interesting is, if I look over to the left after marking this, I have my level, but look where the ATR trailing stop is forming here. So that's something to be mindful of right there. So just wanted to point that out. So where are the trouble places as of now for Palantir? To the upside, we just marked 109.893. Again here at 111.13. 50 EMA is at 111.38, not far away. If we should break that area, 112.11, which could be a resistance area for us. If we should break that level, we know 113.92. That's just where the body of this candle is here. 113.92. If we should break that level, just know 115.17. Again at 115.66, not far away. The 200 EMA as of now is at the 116.08. So if you're trading Palantir today, those are areas to the upside that I would watch as, possible rejection areas. What's interesting is if we break down to the downside under 105.78, I have this $100.37 is where we have that gap that needs to be filled. I'm going to go to the what's interesting is under that $100.37, the 200 EMA is at the $94.52 range, and that's kind of like in the gap zone, meaning this is where that gap fill starts at the $100.37 all the way down to the $84.48. So that does not say that we're going to fill that gap today. It just shows that we have a gap that need to be filled to the downside. Now, Palantir was moving on average $7.87 per day in either direction, and we are not far from, at least breaking through the trigger to that downside. So if you're trading Palantir today, those are areas to the downside and to the upside that I would look at for support and resistance. Again, not financial advice, y'all. I say so often, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. We're back at the SPY, still trading in this zone. Looks like this is a strong candle here, so we definitely need to watch. I would say above 611.88. I'm going to move to Tesla and just to see where we are today. And I just did some, yes, Tesla. we're still resting at that 361.87 area. We need to watch that because that's our gathering spot. And normally, if Tesla moves, it's going to be a strong move at that opening. So I would say trade carefully, right? So again, y'all, when I look at the market, this is what I see. There's so many different ways to trade the market. What's challenging sometimes is trying to find a strategy that works best for you, but it's also having the discipline to execute your plan, or to make sure that you're doing what you know and having the discipline to get in and to get out at the right time. So again, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. If you could, please like, share, comment, subscribe, because we learn and we grow together. So until next time, y'all, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.